everybody, welcome back to Northernlion plays Finalizing AFTERBIRTH Plus. Let me get a little Eden run here. Having great runs recently, feeling good being back. What the heck? J9NV, sorry, I haven't learned English properly yet. PV80, take the pill, dude, see what happens. Alright, there's a lot to like and a little bit to lump here. What do you like? Well, the HP is just amazing. What do you list? Nah, don't use it yet. You list our rate of fire. If you gotta love it, like it, or list it. You love the health stat. You like the damage stat. You list the rate of fire. Now, how do I feel about kamikaze? I don't know yet. Okay, could be good. Could be very, worthwhile in a situation like that. For example, let's let it ride. Okay, they gave me an AWAS. Are we gonna take technology? I gotta think about it. So it would minimize our damage stat. It would cut our damage stat by 1/3. So that would leave us at like, I don't know, like 2.5-ish. Little bit over that. But we would have piercing shots. Is it worth it? Let me work it. Put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it. Haven't gotten to the reversal part as an adult yet. I mean, the flip part, I'm still working on that. But reversing it, I don't know. That sounds like, I had surgery for that once, so. Is that what she's talking about? I don't know. Maybe she just means doing it backwards, but that's not what reverse means. He's doing it inverted. I think I am going to take technology too. Even though it spooks me, I think it's an interesting item. 2.6, alright. And a lot of people, they rag on me about Tech 2. They say, why do you hate Tech 2? When you still get to shoot tiers occasionally, so it's not really like a DPS downgrade. Yeah, but like it really is though, because you're not gonna... with Tech 2, one of your big advantages is the fact that you can stand far away from enemies. So I think most people are not going to be like, oh, dude, now that I got Tech 2, I can't wait to get right up in every enemy's face. I'm not complaining about this run. I took Tech 2 willingly. But it is probably going to be it's going to hamper us on strong, independent enemies. And it's going to be advantageous for when we fight enemies, or we have rooms that are... multiple enemies that are relatively weak. So hopefully we get more of those. Like Larry Jr., for example, would be an amazing boss. Even like Turtlings, Gurglings would be an amazing boss. Actually, Headless Horseman would be an amazing boss, just so we could get another HP upgrade as well, but no rush or anything. They made two movies called Horrible Bosses, right? If you want to be positive in this world, you gotta look for the good. Where's my two movies called Amazing Bosses? Or at least, like, pretty decent bosses? What about a boss where you can, you don't even have to call into work. They just trust you implicitly, so you can even send them a text message that's like, hey, Tina, I'm not really feeling up to snuff today. I think I would be a downer in the energy of the office. Is it possible that I could take a mental health day just to get myself sorted out? And Tina goes, you didn't even have to text, but thank you. Yeah, of course, go sort yourself out. Where's the movie about Tina? Where's the movie about the boss that gives you more paid maternity leave than is required by the government, Everybody's focusing on the negative these days, Tomo. That's not Tomo, that's the air. Anyway. Those bosses don't exist? Well, neither did the bosses in Horrible Bosses. That's what Hollywood's for. Or as I like to call it, Holly Weird. I don't call it that. I call it late for dinner. I've been to Hollywood once. It was for that Hitman event. Why? Oh, it only took half a heart anyway. Whatever. No problem. You might be asking, how was it? I feel like every time I've seen Hollywood in a movie is, Grauman's Chinese Theater, putting your hands in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, etc., etc. And, well, like the Go-Go's play. Vacation, all I ever wanted. Vacation, had to get away. When I was there, it was more like, I need a vacation because that dude just pooped on the street. Vacation, wish it would never end. I don't mean to insult Hollywood. I mean, we got street poopers here in Vancouver. I'm just saying, I thought it was like, I'd be walking down the street and I'd be like, hey, Mike Myers, Jim Carrey, Alanis Morissette. But nah, it wasn't really like that at all. It was like, closest I got is a dude that was in like a really, really bad Minions costume, trying to get me to take a photo with him. And I'm like, is that how it works? If your costume was better, I have to feel like the roles might be reversed. Maybe you know, people would be coming up asking to take your picture. But instead, you're like, how'd you like to take a picture with a really bad Minion costume? And I'm like, dude, I mean, you don't understand that actually sounds like a pretty sick thing, but only because I could post it on Twitter and make fun of it later. But, you know, it's not like I'm really invested in the whole banana sort of thing anymore. Okay. Luck and range. None of which is particularly useful. I'll definitely, you know, we'll take Guppy's Paw for the ye old Guppy situation. This is a really good time for us to double our damage. Are we gonna... I mean, I would rather stick with Kamikaze, just because it's, is more interesting if we can actually get to any kind of explosion immunity or just a lot of HP. I know I'm saying it differently now, too. Kamikaze. You know why? Been playing Sekiro, dude. Had to rename my cat to Tomoe. You won't get that joke. The boss you have to beat to get that joke is too hard for you. But for me, a seasoned Soulsborne veteran. Only took me 12 hours. That's a joke. You'll see just go watch the video. I mean, you're not going to know what it's called. It's going to be called like an egg scrambled or something like that. But I'm just kidding. It didn't take that long. Okay? Probably not even out yet. Dude, Purity's pretty good here. We've got a great rate of fire. Now, the moment of truth here is, do we feel like we need to get a Spirit Heart from the shop? I would not mind... But for now, let's just cool it, you know? I think we've really... I feel vindicated in the Tech 2 pickup. Like, we're definitely... DPS-wise, we're looking pretty solid. Now, if we get hit, Aura's gonna change that just a little bit, and it's not gonna be quite as amazing as it was mere moments... Oh, not mere moments ago, like literally right now. But, you know, let's do it. I think we go for it. Alright, so we should be in a good spot here. I mean, we've more than doubled our rate of fire, and our damage is better than we started with, and we basically have piercing shots. I mean, we literally have piercing shots. Judgment works better on the next floor, either as a way to get us HP or as a way to finesse a little bit of an extra deal with the devil chance by using a bomb to blow him up. Alright, dude, bad secret room luck. Everything else is going A-okay. Hunky-dory. Let's do it. Don't get hit. That's the most... I mean, it's the most important thing in Isaac in general, you know? We can wax philosophical. Oh, it's so important to, you know, you gotta get your rate of fire... Ugh. Dude, we could use some speed. You gotta get your rate of fire up there. You gotta... Oh, the damage stat. Oh, we could really use a tear effect. Oh, the Guppy transformation. But, like, at the end of the day, you know, if you're gonna be good at Isaac, and I'm still aspiring to get there one day myself, one of the most valuable skills you can have is just not being hit. If you're never hit in Isaac, this might be controversial, but I would say you're almost never gonna lose. Why almost never? Well, you know, everybody's gonna walk into a deal with the devil accidentally, or a curse of the unknown. You know, just step on some spikes or something like that. Is that being hit? I don't know. It's kind of like hitting yourself. It's tough because you know, like I have to check the room because we have such a good bead on Guppy Dreams here, but I really don't want to lose my incredible rate of fire. So you really put me in... No, dude. Put me in quite the conundrum here early. Sorry, I had genuine fear in my heart for a moment there. Really thought that would be a secret room, but in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, okay. Obviously not. Homing tears would be amazing here too. Sorry, I feel a sneeze coming on. Wait for a sneeze in approximately 8 or 9 seconds. Starting to percolate up through the old... Achoo! What did I tell you? My sneeze dar is out of control. It's like NORAD for upper respiratory coughs. Not coughs, sneezes, but you know what? It's the same difference, dude. Ish.
2 of diamonds.
So, not the most practical 2 of diamonds usage of all time, but I bought the Spirit Heart for a very obvious, I think, reason. Ooh, no, we don't need Trinket Smelter, but still, I mean, it's cool to have it. The Spirit Heart, oh my god, that's so good too. Help me. The Spirit Heart is, was gonna be Curse Room enabling for us, but you know what? Let's go see what we got here. I mean, now our damage tier stat, everything you could possibly muster is just fantastic. We even got another HP upgrade out of it right here. I will say, you know what, we should probably go back if we get the cash, and we likely will, and buy a Trinket Smelter just because it's so much better than Kamikaze. Plus, I can stop saying Kamikaze, so... Is that how you say it? It's Kamikaze? Okay. So I'm saying it like Omakase. That's my only real world experience with the kase sound is going to a fancy West Coast restaurant that for some reason says it doesn't call it a tasting menu, it calls it an omakase because it sounds cooler. That's the where I think of what to talk about next. I mean, it's you know, yesterday was not an anecdote-rich day, necessarily. It sounds negative, but, like, you know, the day you come back from being away, you know, yeah, if you've... Don't take this the wrong way. When I was a kid, you go... And I don't even... Like, young adult, even. You go on vacation, you come back, everything in your life is exactly as you left it, you know? Oh, no, I might have forgotten what happened in my Final Fantasy save file. It's not really that big of a deal, right? As an adult, though, when you go places, you know, the whole house ends up, not in disarray, but it needs a little bit of a kickstart. So, you know, it came back, I worked out, it's very important for me that, you know, I'm sure that other people have this experience, for sure. I'm like, it's not, I bring it up not to be like, well, I went down and lifted some trapezoidal weights and got a curly mustache yesterday. I bring it up to be like, you know, relatable. But like, you know, last year... maybe like 10 months ago, I was super into biking. I was going on, you know, 20, 30 kilometer rides, maybe even a little bit longer by the end of it. I can't bear to look at my Strava from that period because it hurts so much. Went to my parents' house and was like, hey, I'm biking, by the way. And they're like, yeah, you're biking, that's cool. Then I got sick, came back, stopped biking. I'm not going to belabor the point too much, but, you know. I tried to bike once, thinking I was over the illness. It was pretty bad, dude. Like, by the time I got to the top of a hill and was like, if I keep going, my heart's gonna explode. I did not get Trinket Smelter, by the way. You know, I'll take Compost. Could be interesting. It's not like we're doing anything with Kamikaze. So, it was important for me to get back down there, but that takes time. And then, recorded a couple of videos. Takes time. You know, and it's not even to get a backlog going. It's to, you know, just get things started. Because of the fact the backlog was pretty much exhausted while I was gone. So that takes time. Bought groceries. Takes time, dude. You know, after did the stream, takes time. Finished the stream, recorded some videos, takes time. It takes a little bit to get things kickstarted again here. So yesterday, I would describe as a non-anecdote rich day. That's okay. Apparently, I mean, while I was gone, it was a busy weekend for friends of mine. Austin changed his name on Twitch. He's excited about it. That's the important thing. Mouth went full-time. Very supportive of my friend's ambition. He's been crushing it. I'm happy for him. Dude, let this serve as an advertisement. Mouth's a very savvy, mature person, believe it or not. I think you would probably believe it. I don't need to say believe it or not. You know, he's living that EST life, and he gets up early in the morning. So he's starting to stream. Oh, no. He's starting to stream at 7 a.m. Pacific time, aka 10 a.m. Eastern time. So if you're an EU viewer, that's like, you know, 6 hours before my earliest stream starts. So, you know, you should be peeping the mouth situation here is what I'm trying to say. I'm happy for him. Moreover, you know, I think he has the skills necessary to make it work as a full-time streamer. He's entertaining. You know, and his numbers, you know, over the past couple of days that he's been full-time speak for themselves. And it sounds not bad at all, but weird. But he's got that fire in his belly from having been at a corporate job recently, from having worked in an office recently. You know what I mean? And it's not to say that that's the only way you could possibly be successful. But I do think it's valuable. I think we're fine to just do that. I do think it's valuable to always, you know, if you can remember that, like, even on what is the worst day of streaming. And oftentimes the worst day of streaming doesn't even have to do with, like, the actual situation at hand. Sometimes it's just like, you know, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, sort of. And then somebody in chat is like, hey, you're bald. And you're like, well, how dare you? Because of this guy, I'm not going live today, you know? Sometimes it's, I don't want to say it's out of the hands of the universe, but it just happens. But, you know, as long as you can maintain that perspective that, like, you know, it's not like the real job is a horrible thing, of course. Well, sadly, I don't want any of those. Necessarily, at least. We haven't been to our item room yet. Let's do that. But, you know, you quit for a reason. And as long as you can remember, like, hey, don't take it for granted, you know? When people are watching you, they could be watching anybody else. People subscribe to you, they could be watching for free. You know, is encouraged, if anything. You should always keep that in perspective, and I think that's something that Mike will not struggle with. So I got high hopes for him. I'm always, you know, even though on a surface level we're all competition to one another, people only have a certain amount of time to dedicate to every, you know, streamer on the platform, and, you know, different people have different preferences. It's entirely possible that somebody might be like, hey man, I like Mouth more than NL. That's fine. I like other people more than I like myself as well. Not too many people, but there's a couple. It's the way she goes. I'm not necessarily a believer in the idea that a rising tide raises all boats, but I do feel like the expression kind of gets a bad rap from time to time, because I think it's used by people that are not necessarily, they're arguing with ill intention, if that makes sense. So the idea that a rising tide raises all boats, it came up, and I'm just going to use this as a metaphor, but, like, you know, Ninja he had an advertising campaign that ran on Twitch. Ninja's a huge streamer on Twitch, if somehow you're unaware of this, but he had an advertising campaign that ran on Twitch, and, you know, a lot of partners, I would say, even though I don't necessarily agree, I would say we're justifiably a little bit rankled, annoyed with this, because they're like, hey, you know, I'm streaming, and then all of a sudden, if I go to the bathroom, your company's running an ad that's like, hey, this guy doesn't go to the bathroom, go watch him, his stream's way better, you know? It personally doesn't bother me, because I already know that, you know, I'm the best streamer on the platform, by far. Just unbelievably funny, handsome, charismatic, humble. It's always the joke at the end of that one. I can't even, like, it's not original, but it makes the people laugh from time to time. But yeah, and then, you know, the argument that some people made is that a rising tide raises all boats. You know, if you know, Ninja being on the platform, sure, he gets probably a slightly preferential treatment from Twitch, or more than slightly in some situations. Then that makes other partners feel bad, but if it gets more new users on the platform, perhaps those new users, I don't want to say trickle down, because that's another almost like dog whistle, but they'll find their way to you, and then, you know, that's where the analogy comes from. A rising tide raises all boats. To a clubs. Hold on, I'm just thinking. We don't have a good deal with the Devil's Chance, so I'll just spend, I'll take a chance on this bad boy right here. 9-volt compost actually seems like a great combo here. We'll see what we get. But I do think that sometimes a rising tide raises some boats, unless your boat is, like, poorly made, in which case it will hasten your sink. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird way to phrase it, but I'm happy for him, especially because we're operating in different time zones. Which is conducive. There's still time, you know. There's people are taking that afternoon slot. They're I mean, I don't begrudge anybody, of course. That's just my preferred time to stream. It's not like I got here early, so I got a chance to take one of the preferential slots. But if you want to stream in the afternoon, of course, no harm, no foul, dude. Well, actually, my time is more valuable. I'm not gonna say that, obviously, even if I do think it deep down in my core. Deal with the devil, please? No, but that's fine. So I'm happy. Not just because I think that, it sounded like I was phrasing it in a strictly fiscal sense. That, like, well, Mouth will be bringing in a 1.6 average concurrent users multiplier compared to where we're at right now. So, no, I mean specifically I'm happy for my friend because I think that I remember what it was like. Even though it was oh so long ago. My first, like, month of being full-time on YouTube. I'm not really full-time on Twitch or YouTube. I'm like 3/4 of a full week on YouTube and half of a full week on Twitch, which is 1.25 times full-time, but not on any one platform specifically. Anyway, I'm just bringing it up to be weird, I guess. Whatever, we lost our range advantage. What are you gonna give me next instead? Let's see. Speed. I can live with that. It's better than range, at least. But I remember, dude, I was recording, like, 12 to 14 hours a day. Now, let me just say, that's dumb. Don't do that. Is obviously unsustainable. But I remember the excitement. I remember, moreover, it's like the first day of summer vacation, you know? The first day of summer vacation is the best day of summer vacation. You sleep in a little bit, but still wake up at a time that's probably not too shameful. And then you go, if this was 2 days ago, I would have been in physics class right now, you know? So it's a very nice feeling. And you can't help but lose it a little bit. I still think I do pretty well. Like, I'm still, it's not going to help too much, unfortunately. This run is incredible, though. But there's still, some days I get a little bit jaded. I make jokes at the expense of me and my colleagues all the time as well. Might as well try stopwatch, I guess. But I still, like, pretty much every day, I'm really thankful to be doing what I'm doing. Affords me a lot of privileges in life that otherwise probably would have been unlikely to be accessible to me, and I haven't forgotten that. For the most part. You know, I mean, at this point, we might as well just snag them both, dude. It'll be fun. I think a lot of people do lose it over time, and they start to only, it's a natural human reaction. Maybe they start to focus predominantly on the negatives of the job and forget that, I'm not saying you have to be breathlessly grateful in all circumstances, but I'm just saying I'm excited for my friend because I think he's got a real chance. It's also, if I can be as respectful to both myself and my other colleagues as possible. It's very rare that somebody leaves, like, a stable career that they have, like, a decade of experience in that required, like, a college degree and then turns to streaming. So that's, like, exciting. And I'm glad it's working out for him. You gotta have a lot of confidence. It had to be anxiety-inducing to some extent. Hold on, I just want to double my flies and spiders here. Thank you. Like, for me, I was working at what I would describe as a pretty crap job. Now, if you're teaching ESL in South Korea and you love it, don't start to hate it just because I didn't like it. But it was definitely not for me. And I was eager to get out. So it was a pretty soft landing for me. That's actually not that bad because we get to double our flies and spiders. And a lot of people that come to streaming, they either, like, they're fresh out of school, they got a chance at it, they're like, let me give this a shot. It's not a bad thing. Or they're working a job they don't necessarily like all that much, and they're like, let's give it a shot, and you're like, that's a good thing. To have somebody be in like an actual professional context and then be like, I'm gonna make a real genuine shot of this. He's not the first person to do it, but it's not necessarily the most common situation. Like, I didn't even have to quit a job to start doing this full time. All I had to do was not renew my contract. Now, it's not really the same as quitting the job. It's not perhaps markedly different, but you know, it wasn't like I went to my boss and I was like, I'm out of here. I entertained like no fantasies of that. Instead, I just kind of like left on my last day of work. Like, all right, well, you're not asking me if I want to stick around, so I guess, goodbye. Day good. It's been nice-ish. Hope you find your... You get the idea. Anyway, I'm happy for him. Especially if he becomes the new ninja. Because, dude, that would be huge. I mean, for him, but also for me. But also for Ninja. He could get a chance to take a little bit of a break, too. I mean, he's 24 or 25. Come on, dude. You want to work forever? Just trying to make... I have taken a lot of damage here. Well, we've been having fun, you know. That's what we do here. We have a good time. But I want to make sure I'm not creating a situation where I'm having an untenable, you know, Into the Spider-Verse sort of thing going on. What does that mean? It means I don't want to accidentally lead to a situation where I'm not creating enough spiders. I mean, I said the word spider. You really should have pieced it together, even though it had nothing to do with the Vancouver Animated Academy Award-winning Into the Spider-Verse. Great movie, by the way. I mean, obviously, I'm not the first person to say. In fact, I might be one of the last people to say it. But I'm so for those of you out there, I know you exist. You're like, man, this Spider-Verse movie. A bunch of people are saying it's good. That naturally believes or leads me to believe that it's actually terrible. Nah, dude, not this one. I know it's Cape S. It's Cape poop. If you haven't seen it, you know, it's a little bit presumptuous, you know? I get it if you get to fit in with the edgelord communities online that essentially don't like anything except the 2017 Greta Gerwig film Lady Bird, but, you know, more power to you. I'll have you know I actually enjoy foreign films, such as, have you heard of Park Chan-wook's film Old Boy? Yeah, I mean, I saw it when you were probably about 5 years old. Not that I'm, you know, as long as we're bragging here, but... Dude, I love being in my 30s so I can say stuff like that. You probably, I mean, let me think about it. I probably saw it in the year 2009. It's unlikely you were 5 years old, but possible, I suppose. Dude, why did 3 of these get turned into spiders, and one of them didn't? What a strange situation. Oh, well... I mean, we got a sustainable amount of spiders. We bootstrapped ourselves. We've done what the boomers have asked of us, dude. We've created a situation where we have our burn rate of spiders is less than our daily spider growth, which would be terrifying if this was like a homeowner situation. But instead, it rules. There you go. You gotta stop leaving consumables on the ground to pick up to use the space bar immediately. It's not I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, you could just do it as soon as you walk in, as long as there's no consumables on the ground. You know what I mean? So go back here, do this. Oh baby, oh baby, our spiders will blot out the sun. There's something really, you know, satisfying about having a compost run that just works. I think the thing that makes it most satisfying is that your spiders just, like, overrun the enemies, but they don't actually, like, disappear. Like, a big wave of spiders just lands on top of your enemies, but the number of spiders does not meaningfully seem to diminish, you know? We got a permanent rate of fire upgrade there. That's great stuff. Sure, dude. HP upgrade, don't mind if I do. Now, I've screwed up compost a lot. 9-volt has helped me out a lot here when it comes to making sure that we didn't do that here. We still probably almost did it. But once you get it off the ground, it's one of those things, you know. I had a friend in college. His uncle was very wealthy. I know, quit flexing. Oh, first you go to the gym, and now you gotta... You know, you have a friend who has a wealthy relative. A wealthy relative? A wealthy relative you've never met and probably never will meet? Yeah, dude, I know. I'm kind of a big shot. But my friend was telling me that, you know, he asked his uncle for fiscal advice, essentially, business advice. And then his uncle was like, you know, making the first $1 million is extremely hard. After that, you'd have to be an idiot not to be able to make more if you wanted to. That's what compost is like. By the way, I have no idea if that's true. I get the, you know, the power of compound interest and, just invest in an index fund that tracks the composite of the S&P 500, etc., etc. But, like, look, let's not get into that necessarily. But that's compost, dude. All you gotta do, you make the first million spiders and the rest just kind of make themselves. Great run. Hope you had a good time. I did. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya!